friends, welcome to Positive Power with your host, Michele Dionne. Thank you for joining me for another week. This week I wanted to go into more detail about what we talked about last week. Last week we talked about the 4 powers. And this week I wanted to focus specifically on one of them. And that is the power of your thoughts. That's something nobody can take from you. You totally control how you think. But there's 2 different ways to think. There's letting your thoughts run by default, where it's just a chain reaction of one thing goes to the next thing, to the next thing, and it's just this flow that can take you either up or it can take you down. Or there's always hope. You can make the conscious decision to think on purpose. So it takes 17 seconds from one thought to create the next thought, to create the next thought, whether it be positive or negative. So when you're in a negative flow, let's say you woke up late for work today. So you woke up late, that automatically rattles you because you're like, even if it's just 10 minutes, let's say it's just 10 minutes. 10 minutes can make a big difference. And you can really overthink 10 minutes, right? So you're 10 minutes late. You can make up that 10 minutes. Maybe you're going to hit every green light. Maybe there's going to be no lineup at the coffee shop. Maybe your boss isn't even there today. Maybe he's in a meeting. Maybe, right? You can go that way. I made a conscious decision right now to make my flow go that way. But do we necessarily do that? Not so much. Normally, if you're in that thinking by default flow, then you'd wake up, oh man, I'm 10 minutes late. Oh my gosh. Now I'm not going to have time for whatever. Now, and you start doing that same flow of thinking, but all negative, and it just brings you down and brings you down and brings you down. So you need to stop and turn it around. Turn the flow. Take charge, right? So start thinking like I just did. Sometimes it's hard though to pull yourself out of that. We're habitual people. As many years of you as you've been alive, you've been practicing letting your thinking run by default. It's just the way that it's been. So now, for you to make the conscious decision to pull the reins in is not so easy because you've built up some momentum. So quite often we can use tools to help us do that. You can use something that we call emotion recall, where when you're getting in that flow of negative thinking, just take a second and think of something, one of the most wonderful things that ever happened in your life. And I don't know what it is. You know, was it when you got married, when you met somebody, when you had a child, when you held somebody for the very first time, big or little, whatever it is, something that makes you feel good. And the other thing that you can use is music. Music's a wonderful way to pull you out of a slump. And sometimes it's from your own thinking. Sometimes you've been around somebody who's really negative. When you're around negative people, doesn't it make you tired? They make you drained, like they suck the life right out of you. Interesting enough, when you start reading into some of these things, like I mean legit, like reading, they call those people energy vampires. And when I first heard that, I was like, that's weird. But I get it now because they suck the life right out of you, right? And they feel better because they just dumped all that on you. So you got to take charge back. Don't get sucked into it. So you can use music, but that being said, you have to use positive music. It has to have positive words. You know, I used to have a girlfriend, I still have her, and she was going through a hard time, and I remember going to see her and she was so upset, and she had this music cranked in the background, and it was, I don't know, so depressing and sad, and it was like Whitney Houston or something, and I think no wonder you can't get out of the slump of that thinking. You're listening to the saddest music ever made. Excuse me, when I got divorced, I went through my Alanis years, and it's when Alanis Morissette had just come out with a very powerful album at that time. I'm aging myself, and it was all, you know, angry and you know, just very, I'm not even going into it, but anyways, it was my Alanis period. So when you think of that and you think about the music you listen to, you need to tie it in a positive way. It needs to be positive as well. And make you feel powerful. Pick some music that's like, I'm a survivor, not a victim. So that's our topic for this week. Choosing how you think, taking control back. And over the next couple weeks, we're going to look at the other 3 ways you can take control of your life. And you focus on these 4 powers, you're going to feel better for it, I promise you. So there you go. Have an awesome week. Look after yourself and enjoy the rest of the summer.